Hello, welcome back to our podcast.
Hi, I'm Terrin.
I'm Kelsey.
Welcome to Wide Open Spaces, episode 6.
Yeah. I can't believe we got 6 going now.
I know, right?
So weird. Today we are going to do a little get to know Terrin.
Kind of like Kelsey's episode. Mm-hmm. We aren't going to do any of our usual topics because we're batch filming today. So we just kind of went over a lot of them. They'd be pretty redundant if we did.
Yes.
So,
first of all, let's start with your name.
My name is Terrin Rain Velasquez.
Rain.
Formerly Baker.
Yeah. I love your real name. I've always loved it.
Thank you. I love yours
such
too.
a piece of who you are. And me, I guess, too.
Yeah, it is. It's funny how you become your name.
Yes.
You mentioned that before, like with the kids.
Yep.
And at first you're like, what the hell is that name? And then they become their name. And it's just the cutest.
I literally just thought about that with Vivian.
Oh, yeah.
Because, sorry, Rebecca, if you're watching this, which you probably know already because I think I've said it, but I hated that name.
Yeah.
I was like, it's such a weird name, but I have a niece. She's like 4 months old now. Her name is Vivian, but it is so cute now.
It is very cute.
And it fits her, and it's like, we can call her Viv.
Vivi.
Yeah, little Vivi, little V, just anything.
It's cute.
Really cute.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you become your name.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's so cute, yeah.
Where are you from?
I am from Nevada, Missouri, where you're from. Good old Nevada, Missouri.
Yep. You also lived in Kansas City area when you were a child.
Oh, yeah. I did forget that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I trauma blacked that one out. My parents got divorced when I was like 3, and my mom moved to the city. She actually moved to Springfield first, and then she moved to Kansas City. And we moved like every 6 months to a year at least. So Harrisonville, Belton, Independence, Kansas City, like downtown Kansas City, you fucking name it. All of them. We lived there.
Been there.
We lived there. Yeah. So during the week I was in Nevada, and during the weekends I was somewhere in the city living my best life. Mm-hmm. Except not.
Yep. That segues into my next question.
Okay.
What was your childhood like? And what would you change? What would you do differently for your children?
Okay, I was say I wouldn't change anything about my childhood because
we have no regrets around here.
No regrets in this house. I am who I am, and I wouldn't be who I am without this.
Yeah.
But, my childhood was I don't even know how to describe it in a nutshell. Like I said, my parents got divorced when I was really young, and then my mom was like very in and out of my life. She's bipolar and has always struggled with addiction, and so we had to experience a lot of the backlash from that. So from her side of things, it was heavily abusive and verbally abusive, emotionally, across the board. And now that I'm an adult, it's hard to say like I don't fault her for it because I know her background now and I know why she was the way that she is, but also I wish that would have molded her into something else. But I also understand why, like her circumstances. So it's like easier for me to like accept that now and like move past it. Yeah. And with my dad raised me and my 2 sisters, eventually 3 sisters, because he adopted a child when we were much older in the teenage years, by himself. And we didn't really have a lot of money until I was like a teenager, so that was like a huge shift in my life. But my dad was a single parent of many kids, and he was tired and exhausted and sad about my mom. And so I've always kind of felt like alone in the world, just from the very beginning. Don't cry.
I'm not going to yet.
But also I'm very thankful for my dad because, again, now that I'm older and I'm a parent, I could not even imagine being in his shoes. And he damn near killed himself for us kids. Like, he did everything he could to give us anything that he could give, and then some, on top of like all the issues that we had as teenagers because of the things that realistically like we were going through because of what was happening with my mom. Yeah. And so
what do you do different for your children?
Well, I don't want them to look back at their childhood and think, damn, I can't really pick out a lot of good in there. Yeah. Ever. But I want my kids to not have to worry about whether or not like I'm financially okay, or if I I will never make my kids feel unloved in the world or alone. I'm sure lots of parents start out saying that, but I really truly will devote my entire life to making sure that my kids feel supported and happy, and I will always be their best friend, but they will never be mine. Like they will be my best friend to them,
Yeah.
but like they will never have to worry about my problems. They will never have to hear it from me. Like I will be their biggest fan and their number one supporter, and I will. The cycle of any kind of abuse or addiction absolutely 100% stops here. It ends with me. Like,
yes,
period.
ma'am.
So,
I'm gonna try to ebb and flow with like the hard hitting questions and like some more easier ones.
Okay, well, started you big with a good one. Like, I know, a hard one. Like,
what did you want to be when you were a kid? Like when you grew up, what did you want to be?
I wanted to be a veterinarian. I loved animals more than anything. I love them so freaking much. And my aunt was a dog groomer growing up, and so I used to go out to the local vet.
That's cute.
Yeah, like they use the vet clinic on like 54 or whatever. Yeah, 54. Yeah, and hang out with her some days, or we do like shadow days. And I was a little kid, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And obviously that didn't work out, but that's what I thought I was gonna be.
You became a doctor in a different sense.
I became a different kind of doctor. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have, or what is your favorite or best childhood memory?
I would say a memory that I go back to a lot that's definitely my favorite is my dad used to take us to Shakespeare in the Park in the summer. And if you've never done that, or if you have kids, they do travel, so it's not just Kansas City. And I would say that's probably one of my favorite memories. Like, he was sharing something that mattered to him with us, and it was just so cool, and you could see other kids. And then a lot of times we would go to the Kansas City Art Museum because it's free, and like do like the whole thing the whole day. We'd go and we'd spend time out there, and
I can't believe I never did that. I always knew about it, but I just never got the opportunity to go. Or
well, we didn't travel a lot. Like my dad traveled with his best friend John, and he went and saw all the Hard Rock. So he's traveled around the country. Yeah. But like he's not, or he wasn't then like a big traveler, or we didn't have the money for it. Or when he did start making money, he was always working. Like he is dead tired. Or me and Dana were off doing who knows, whatever shithead thing, like that we were doing at the time. So what family vacation were we gonna take? Right. Like, please. Right. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but that was definitely the best. I want to do it with my kids someday.
Yeah. If you could sum up your teenage years in 3 words. What would you say about them?
I would say 3 fucking words.
I know.
I would say that they were necessary and enduring and forging. I feel like without my teenage years, I wouldn't be. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because we're reading Zodiac. I know. So everything that keeps coming to my brain is like a phoenix, but truly, my life, I feel like a phoenix that has rose from the ashes. Like, there's just nothing in my upbringing. We've talked about this before that like indicated that I would be anything successful at all. Yeah. And everybody used to tell me, "You are not going to be anything. You will be nothing. Yeah. Like, nothing at all." And well, fuck you. Because you're wrong.
Yeah. You forged the woman that she is today.
Yep. So, thanks for that.
Yeah. Speaking of your teenage years, you had a child at 15, 16.
It was more like 14, 15.
14, 15. Yeah, sorry. 14, 15.
Yeah. People will start doing the math.
Yes. What advice would you give to other young women that find themselves in a similar position?
I would say, from my experience, hold that baby tight. Like, do not let anybody else step between you and your child no matter what. Like, if you feel like there are no options, if you're going to adopt, do a closed adoption, vet the family, and do what you can to make peace with that, move forward. Open adoption would be incredibly hard. And me personally I got help from other family members, and they did not do anything good for me. And I don't know, you just put the baby before yourself, but also don't immediately start disbelieving in yourself. There is still an opportunity for you to go and have a beautiful life.
Absolutely.
With that child. And there are options and opportunities outside of where you live. You just have to look for them. And it will be fucking hard, but it will be 100% worth it. Like,
yeah.
15 years later, I can tell you that, like, yeah, you're going to be okay. It's going to be fine.
Totally.
No drugs, no alcohol, okay? Move forward. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay?
So we already talked about how we know each other in my Get to Know You and other podcasts.
Yeah.
So I don't really feel like we need to touch on that much.
Yeah.
But if no one saw those videos, Terrin and I lived together when we were young. She was still a teenager. I was an adult.
Yeah. An adult.
An adult.
Yeah.
And we partied together and loved and did crafts. And it was such a crazy time in our lives, like, looking back.
And we didn't like live together with parents. Like, I'm 17. We had our own house. We rented. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to talk about that time?
I will say that from that time, I think you guys taught me the most that I like ever needed to learn about like friendship or like being sisters, which is crazy because I had sisters.
Yeah.
But like we weren't really being taught like anything healthy about relationships, and so like I truly did not know how to like love other people or receive love. Yeah. And that was like the first experience in my life that wasn't like overly traumatic and stressful. Yeah. Where I was really able to like learn that. Yeah. Was from you too.
It was a huge transition period for all of us. Yeah. And, I mean, from there, you transitioned to the army.
Yeah. 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 And I hate saying any of that. Like, my dad is a good man. Okay. He's a great guy. Like, I love my dad to pieces, and he was just doing the best with what he had. So, yeah, please don't be harsh on my dad here. Like, okay, like, yeah, I won't hear it.
So you moved on, joined the army. Yeah, became a medic in the army. Yeah. What did being in the army teach you?
Being in the army taught me a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
it would be really hard to like sum that up.
Something.
I do want to share one thing. The reason that I actually ended up joining the army was partially because I was sick of everybody telling me, like, fuck you, you can't do it, like, you're not gonna ever be anything, you're a teen mom, all this stupid shit they say to kids like that. And then the other part was absolutely 100% because of a man. Except for I didn't go chasing a man like most people do. Yeah. This man basically just told me that like he couldn't like publicly be with me because his mom believed all those horrible things about me that I was just like nothing. And I was like, and he was in the army at the time. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to go join the army.
I'm going to be your equal and then beat you at your own fucking game.
And I did. Yeah. I straight up did. And for several years after that, that man continued to call and blow up my phone. And then he went and got married and continued to blow up my phone. So, like, I really dodged a bullet there. Like, totally. 100%. But also, like, bro. Yeah. Anyway, I think the army taught me most of all, like, that really anything is possible. Like, truly, I learned, like, how to believe in myself, and that even if you fail at something, like, maybe it's not meant to work out for you, or you could just swerve and go a different direction. I learned a whole lot about, like, loyalty and leadership. Really a lot about leadership and loyalty. Yeah. And family. I mean, you can make family out of anything. Yeah. And
found family.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it helped you, like, grow up and like learn how to be an adult and be a person in society and how to do the damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the biggest misconception about being in the military?
Well, one, people always assume EJ was in and never me. They never, like, it's easier to tell if a guy's been in than a girl, so I'll give them that. But most of the time, people just assume that females are not in. Yeah. And then the next biggest misconception is that to be in, you have to be ugly. I get that one so many times. Like, they're like, wow, you're so pretty. You're in the army. I'm like, what the fuck does the two have to do with the other one? Yeah. But I got that all the time.
That's so weird.
A lot.
Also, beautiful people don't join the military.
Yeah, which actually, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And I would also say the next biggest misconception is that because you're in the military means that you are wildly in shape, or a good person. Because there are a lot of people who are not in the best shape, and the Army has a tendency to break you down. Mm-hmm. And so it can go both ways. It just depends on your unit. And then I have met the most incredible people in my life in the military, but I have also seen the absolute worst of society. So just because somebody was in or is in does not automatically make them a good person. Right. So you should not let your guard down because of that factor.
Totally.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the hardest thing you've had to learn from, and what did it teach you?
The hardest thing I had to learn from was probably what happened with Kirsten. My oldest daughter was just... I guess the lesson that I really learned there was that, like, I can't live my life with regrets, because ultimately the decision that I made, she was at minimum, she was safe. Mm-hmm. And she was still in a better house than I was in, which is really, like, saying something. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I just had to keep improving and, like, move forward from that and stop living, like, so regretfully. Like, I could not go back and remake that choice.
Yeah.
And I had
to living in the past.
Yeah, I had to forgive myself for not knowing the things then that I know now. Like, I was very, like, immature and naive, and I did not know. And I would say that brought me to, like, the ultimate lesson that I've learned in life is that, like, sorry, I lost my train of thought there a little bit. It's always fun to edit. Is that you cannot know something and, like, be naive about something and still hurt someone and have to forgive yourself for it later. But also, like, don't let that moment of you being naive, like don't let someone else convince you that you're evil, because
that one thing doesn't define the rest of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, I feel like in that time I was villainized a lot, and I would believe that a lot about myself because I did do those things. But it's not ever that cut and dry. Like, no. I do not think life is that black and white, and that there was just so much more to this situation than was at hand. And then I would say that past that, I just carried that with me in most of my life choices.
Right.
Things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, shifting a little bit. What would your one superpower be?
Oh.
I feel like you can fly.
Recently, yeah.
You can teleportation, mind control, strength. You could be Elastigirl. Do you want to wield fire and ice?
I'm gonna go with, I don't know, mind control.
Oh, okay.
Because you could do multiple things with that, and you could expand on that.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of, like, superhero, like, things are just dumb because in practicality, what am I gonna do with flying? What's that gonna do for me?
You're gonna fly and be happy, and you're gonna go places and not have to pay for gas. So we're just gonna vehicle.
Put my little family on my back, and we're just gonna fly everywhere. What happens when it rains? Tell me that.
That's true. I totally am gonna do teleportation because I just want to be able to go anywhere, wherever I want, anytime I want. Mm-hmm. But also, like, if you could mind control, you could literally walk up to a pilot and say, fly me to Bermuda right now.
Yeah.
And then you would fly to Bermuda.
Yeah.
So.
And, mind control.
And then you could also have other aspects of.
Yeah. You want to fix the economy? Got you.
Yeah.
You want to fix world hunger? I got that.
Yeah.
Like, it might take me a minute to get from place to place to mind control all these people, but I could really get some work done. That'd be better than most politicians.
Totally. You could control all the politicians.
Exactly. Like, do good. Stop being a piece of shit.
That's true. What's your biggest pet peeve?
People who lack self-awareness. Like, just overall. Just people who are inconsiderate or like, and it's okay because I am not perfect. So like most people like lack it here and there, but like that truly lack self-awareness and they like play the victim card all the freaking time. Like I just cannot. Everyone has an opportunity to change. Everyone's circumstances are different, but like your mindset is everything. And if you're completely unaware of like who you are, your flaws, your strengths, you gotta work on that. You just got to. And if you don't know those things, I generally can't be around you because, well, you got a lot of self-work to do. And I'm moving on to bigger things, baby. I'm not going to be the one that self-works you. You got to do that on yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
If you could control people's first impressions of you, what would you want them to see? Or what would their first impression of you be?
It would be cool if people stopped being intimidated by me. I get that one a lot. A lot of people just immediately assume because I have a strong presence, I'm a strong, confident woman, that I'm immediately someone to be afraid of or fearful. And I do think that says a lot more about them as a person than myself. But if I could give off a little bit more disarming without having to actually be disarming, that'd be cool. Because I don't really want to like downplay who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your biggest insecurity?
My biggest insecurity. Well, I like myself, but I would say that my teeth have always bothered me, and I'm bow-legged. So that has always been something that just kind of like pops up randomly. I don't see it very often. Yeah. But it does show up in some photos, and I'm like, why do I have such weird knees?
I cannot. One, your teeth are beautiful and they're totally fucking fine. I never in my life have thought, wow, this is weird.
Well, because I have the two bigger one here, and EJ always makes fun of me for it.
Oh my god. And also, I've never thought about your knees. Like,
I think I only ever
be like, oh, she's bow-legged.
I think I only noticed that because when we were in high school, Joni Schultz, who used to date Isaiah, we were walking from the high school to the ag building, and one of her insults at me was, straighten your legs!
Okay, long-legged giraffe, bitch.
That's the only time I ever, like, even noticed it about it myself. And I was like, it didn't scar me. I'm like, whatever, like... It took me a while to think of my insecurity. I think most of my insecurities are more emotional than they are anything else.
Oh, yeah. Mine are, too.
I think my biggest insecurity is that, like, because my mom has a mental illness, that I truly, like, mentally could be wrong in a lot of situations. And that's kind of, like, what I meant earlier was, like, sometimes I'll get in a discussion or I'll feel one type of way about how someone is treating me or talking to me, and it will take me so much work to feel valid in that. Yeah. And that's why I do so well when I'm in therapy, because I can talk through it with a therapist and they're like, no, that's a reasonable boundary, or that's reasonable for you to be upset with that. And it's hard for me to establish boundaries with people or tell them like this, and this, because if they rebut anything, even if what they say is valid, I will convince myself that like I just actually made up what I'm upset about in my fucking head. Yeah. And
I'm fucking bipolar.
I'm crazy.
I'm crazy.
Yeah. Or if somebody calls me crazy for, like, being upset about something, then I'm just like, well, maybe I am.
Maybe I am crazy.
Yeah. Like, that's, like, my biggest... my number one insecurity, probably. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. What's your...
a little crazy, but not,
we're all
in a bad
crazy.
Way.
But, like, clinically,
I'm fine.
We're fine.
Yeah. I've been evaluated.
Oh my god. What is your biggest fear?
Somebody taking my kids. Hands down.
That was easy.
Yeah. I didn't have to think about that one.
Yeah.
Like, anybody, like, something happening or someone taking my kids away from me. Like, I do my best not to be a helicopter mom. I've really worked on that. But, like,
it's valid.
Yeah, that's just, fear. I can't even fucking imagine anybody that's gone through any kind of, like, child loss or anything like that. Like, I truly feel the deepest sorrows for those people, because I would be nothing. I would just you just have to chalk me up as a loss.
Oh my god!
Don't call me for a night out because I'm not going.
Yeah. Okay, what brings you ultimate happiness? It doesn't have to be one thing. It can be.
I don't know. Lots of things make me happy these days. Ultimate happiness: snow, leaves, cold, front porches.
Yeah.
The smell of fire. Black ice air freshener and whiskey. And if I could also get a little tobacco smell on there, anything scent oriented makes me so happy.
Yeah.
But like the list goes on. My kids, my family, my friends, like being out somewhere with them being happy. Financial stability is a good one. That's a really nice one.
That is and that's something people don't really talk about.
Yeah, people don't talk about finances.
Because people don't talk about money.
Yeah. Well, I be talking about money. Yeah. I like to talk about money.
Yeah.
I think it's good to talk about money.
Totally.
But yeah.
Okay. How do you want to be remembered?
I've thought about this mostly because and
I'm not talking about when you die. Well, it can be when you die, but like we're not dying for 70 years, so like we're fine.
Yeah.
But like say Julian is moving and we don't see him ever again.
Yeah.
And in 5 years, we're like, oh, Terrin.
Yeah.
She was.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because of like social media, you have to like decide like what do you want to leave in the world? Like what's the point of you putting these videos on the internet for yourself or for other people? And I think that through social media or even just like this podcast is just that I want people to feel like they can show up in the world as themselves no matter what decisions they've made in their past. And like this is me. And I wish people would talk more about like mistakes that they've made and feel like less shame around them because ultimately that's why people don't feel that way. And if you can get past that, like you would have better connections in life and you would be happier and you would feel less guilt and shame.
Yeah.
So that's really what I want to do in this social media space. It's just like, this is who you are and be unapologetic about it. And then as far as everything else goes, I have been remembered because of the duty station, like moving. And in my first duty station, I was remembered and hopefully will be remembered by somebody somewhere. Because at this point, people have turned over. I've been long forgotten from my very first duty station, but I was the first female there. And most of the people that remembered me there were like, she's a fucking tough bitch. And that's because I didn't let anybody close and I did what I needed to do and I established myself so other women could be established. And then at my second duty station, I think similar things, but I was in a more leadership position there. So same thing. I hope that people take any of the mistakes that I did and like learn from it, like truly and honestly. Like I just want to be remembered as like my authentic self instead of this like mask that most people put on because I just don't think people do that enough.
Totally.
Yeah. You gonna be okay?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to have a real conversation about life, come to me. You want to talk about cheating on your husband, you want to talk about giving your baby to the wrong person, you want to talk about your childhood trauma, you want to talk about what's going on with your day, come to me. I'll talk to you about it. Totally. You want me to make you feel you want me to make you feel better about yourself? And if I am judging you, I will tell you I'm judging you, and then I'll probably elaborate on why. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, tell us about your current life. You're married.
I am married, and I have 3 beautiful girls.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what Charlotte's husband in Sex and the City says. It's his lot in life to be surrounded by beautiful women, and that is true for me.
Pretty good life.
And my husband.
Definitely.
Where am I at in life? Well, I've been out of the Army for 3 years. My husband just got 4 years in August. Fuck. Wow, it's been a while now. Yeah. And my husband will be approaching his 1 year in October. And we live in Texas. And we plan on staying in Texas. We plan on moving a little bit further north. And I don't know. I kind of live a dream life, realistically. Yeah. Like, we're both 100% disabled. So our base level income is taken care of, and we both are free to venture on and try new things and new careers and whatever we like. And I think that's what we're doing for the most part. I spend most of my days making content, hanging out with my kids, and seeing my best friend, and traveling. And I could have pictured a better life. Do I have goals and aspirations past this? Of course, but I feel like I'm working towards them all the time. And I don't feel like a lot of people get that opportunity. So I'm really, really like thankful and like blessed. I'm not lucky because I work damn hard for it.
Yeah.
But I
recently thought about that statement. Like, I'm not lucky.
Yeah.
I'm here because I put myself here.
Yeah. Like, cool, lucky girl syndrome and all mindset and whatnot. You can say you're the luckiest person in the world. And I will hope that I continue to get lucky in the rest of my life because manifestation and all, but in reality, where I'm at, like what I've done, I worked really hard for. And I'm going to take every inch of it and bask in it. Like, all the way from my husband to my kid. Like, I worked hard for my kids. I worked hard for my husband. Damn hard for that man. Yeah. And I worked hard for this life that I get to really live. Yeah. So.
Totally.
Yeah. You gonna cry anymore? I don't cry. Kelsey's a cry. She cries for me.
I'm gonna bat away my...
You got a bug in there?
Yep. The wind is blowing.
It's blowing in here. Leo, stop blowing.
Right? Alright, you're 30 now.
I'm 30.
What is different about this year? What is going to be different than last year?
Whew. Okay, well, I think that ultimately I have worked through some of my own bullshit, a lot of my people-pleasing tendencies, and like I truly and ultimately know what I want in life, and like I feel like I'm like actually actively working towards it. And the last couple years I've had kids back to back, so that's taken up like all of my time and space, which rightfully so, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. But they're getting to an age where like I feel like I can finally do other things outside of that. Yeah. And in this year, I'm going to be stepping back into myself, like who I was before motherhood, who I am actually outside of motherhood. And also, I am kind of like, okay, well, I'm 30 now, and I'm just going to take back some of my power. Yeah. I went through some stuff in the Army with a person, and that person took a lot from me. I was in a like really toxic, not okay relationship, and it took a lot of like who I was as a person, and I just started doing things subconsciously, like at a very subconscious level, to like protect myself and keep myself protected from the world. And I'm not doing that anymore. If I want to wear a dress and it makes you feel like shit about it, I'm gonna wear the fucking dress. Yeah. Not that person, but just people in general. I've cut out people in my life who made me feel like that. I spent a lot of my time trying to be less pretty than I am, and that might sound conceited to some, but I am pretty. I am beautiful. Yep. And if I don't believe that, my kids won't believe that. They look just fucking like me. So, like, what? The message doesn't make sense.
Hide yourself or
downplay myself so other people feel comfortable. And I'm done spending time around those people. I'm done being near those people. If you feel like shit because of my personality or how I look, it's probably a you problem, or maybe we just don't mesh and we shouldn't be friends.
And that's fine.
And that's okay. Yeah. And so I'm just taking that back. That's 30s for me. I give a fuck less of a shit. It was like 1 month I was like, I care, and this year I'm like, actually I don't anymore.
No.
Like, if our friendship is not solid enough that I can't not respond to you for a couple weeks at a time without you freaking out, then we're probably not solid. Like, then that's just what it is. I have too much shit going on, and I want to live, like, right here. I don't have time to be on my phone texting you every day. Like, how's your day? Like, I don't need boyfriends. I got a husband. Yeah. Like, I don't need that. Totally. I got married because I didn't want to do the relationship thing over and over and over and over again. And I love my husband. But still, like, no thank you.
Right. Okay, that's pretty much almost all my questions, but is there something you wish I had asked? Is there something that you want to say?
No, I think you hit most of the big ones. Like, I think you get the timeline of my life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we've talked about it in other aspects, so...
Yeah. No, I feel like it was a good... I think the rest will come out through the podcast. Anything that we have left on the table.
Okay, well, for anyone that wants to know more about you, how do they find you?
Okay. On Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, I am Life Beyond Baker, which is just like my life now that I'm out of the Army. Terrin Titles, which is my book page. And on pretty much all of those, you can find me in some form of Terrin Rain. But my name is spelled with a Y and not an I.
Yep.
So
R-A-Y-N.
Yep, R-A-Y-N. Terrin, Terrin, R-A-Y-N. And you'll find me somewhere on social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all I have, really.
Okay, so, well, thank you. It was a very good interview. I'm glad you got some tearsies in.
I know. I just love to cry.
I say that for my therapy sessions, okay? Go to therapy. It's good for you, okay?
Mm-hmm. I've never been, but I just had therapy, kind of, so.
Yeah.
I'm good. Well, thank you for joining us again. We love you.
Yep. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.